Hey, hello everybody, this is Purge, bringing you guys a little special something that I haven't done before. I've been brainstorming this a little bit. Some people have asked me to post more losing games, and there were a couple problems with this idea. The reason I don't post very many losing games is because they're generally not very fun to watch. Almost always when you lose a game, you might start out kind of nice, but it usually goes into like a major stomp, and those aren't really enjoyable at all. So it's usually much better not to watch those, and normally I would just drop it there, and this is no problem. But unfortunately, some people watch my channel exclusively for their Dota needs, and therefore, if you just watch my YouTube videos and you don't watch my stream, then it's really hard to get a perspective of what it's like to on average to win. So, for example, if you take a look at my profile, I don't have a perfect win ratio at all. I think I'm like 56% right now win ratio, so I actually lose 45% of my games, which is it's quite a bit. The average player has around a 50% win ratio, and top pros usually are at like 60 to 70 or something like that. Most really good pro players have a lot of wins, but unfortunately, it doesn't really give a good representation of how to come back, and it also doesn't give you the best. Okay, that's it. Decline. It also doesn't really. I think it's really bad for teaching people how to come back, and more importantly, mistakes that you make that will oftentimes lose you a game. So as you guys saw probably when the video started, I've had a few losses in the last day or so, quite a bit actually. I did okay. This is all the staff cup games, I think, and then yesterday just a lot of losses. So I picked out some games that were pretty close but were losing games, and 2 out of the 3 of them were not worth making videos out of them. But what I did was I took some notes and on 3 games, and I'm going to go over them very briefly and show you guys what went wrong, why the game ended, and why it's not making it worth making an entire video out of it. So I figured it'd be better if I just like clump a couple replays, and I can do this once in a while when I build up a few losses. Can clump some replays together and make a video about it and talk about the losses, why we lost, and we can analyze the games together. And it should be pretty beneficial for me as well, because I can take a look at my play and maybe some mistakes that I made, and then be able to, in future games, when I'm at those points where I'm over diving or something, I can say, I'm going to lose the game if I die here, or it's going to prevent me from snowballing really hard, for example. So, without further ado, we are going to lose every single one of these games that I'm about to show you, and hope you guys enjoy that, because at the very least we can talk about Dota and look at some cool things. So, I'm going to try to do this series a little bit more often. I definitely want to diversify my content right now. Things have not been going very smoothly in terms of any variety, so I definitely want to increase my variety right now, and I have a couple other ideas for videos as well in a text file somewhere on my desktop. So as you guys can see, game does not go so high. I ended up 110 and 8, and basically nobody was positive on our team except for maybe Skeleton King. And I guess I can just ruin these for you here. This is the match IDs. If you guys want the match IDs and you want to watch along with me, or you want to look at them later, they're all in the drop down box below, as well as with the other links like social media and things like that, so if you're interested. Okay, so let's hop in. We will reduce the size of my camera now that I've introed. So, I didn't take timestamps or anything like that for these games because I wasn't really sure how fast I would want to watch some of these, but I'm going to generally hop around a bit. So, for example, we'll skip all of the picking in the loading stage, and we'll be able to take a look at some stuff. So, look at myself like... I'm going to speed up and stuff, so you won't exactly see this at full times, because a lot of the times it's not worth showing the stuff in the middle. So a couple things that we can look at. First of all, we have a safe lane Skeleton King. I'm playing a support Venomancer. We have an off lane Elder Titan and a mid Ogre Magi with a jungling Chen. So this is pretty good. We actually have really good pushing power with a Venomancer as well as a Chen. We should be able to take the top tower really, really fast. The reason for this being I can get wards, get 2 levels of wards by 3 and 4 levels of wards by 7, and Chen can shift over. We can do a single pull and take tower. Now, so I don't believe this actually ends up happening, but it's probably something that we should aim to do. Elder Titan off lane is pretty fine. He's opting, I gave him a Tango, I believe. He's opting for a Boots with some regen. Ogre Magi mid is not a very strong mid, and it's going to be against the Pudge, which isn't too bad for Ogre Magi, actually. It kind of equalizes things a bit. The Pudge went for 2 salve. He's got a lot of HP, which is important. This should be a winnable lane, or at least a break-even lane from the Ogre Magi. One thing that we're going to try to pay attention to very, very often is actually going to be the last hits and denies, because this is going to be something that can change a lot for the early game. We did see the Windrunner picking up the DD. I think I might just focus on my vision for a little bit here, just to help us check out things, but I believe this game started off pretty nicely. I'm just going to speed up until that moment. was able to stack a camp, and then we're going to go around and gank this Windrunner. And once I Gale, it's a guaranteed kill. So I should be able to just block this guy and secure that the Skeleton King grabs it. And Skeleton King grabs kill. So things started off really nicely. I think there were some mistakes being done by the Ogre in lane here. First of all, he just burned all of his mana, casting, looks like maybe Ignite twice, and then 1 Fire Blast, which I think was a mistake. Long story short, Ogre Magi has less last hits than Pudge, and this ends up extrapolating and continuing to be this case. He did end up spending way too much mana in the first couple waves here. I think he must have casted Ignite twice, or he basically casted 3 spells, and he burned through all of his mana, and he doesn't have a bottle yet. If you're versus a Pudge, I absolutely do not recommend using Ignite at all. I don't think using Ignite is the correct choice. I think you should be Fire Blasting and then right-clicking. Even if he's rotting, if you stun him, he's not auto-attacking during that time, so any auto-attacks you get are HP net gains. And it's important when you're versus a Pudge, especially as a melee hero, that you have to trade HP efficiently in your favor. If you don't do this, he's going to be able to kill you, because Rot will do as much damage to him as it does you, and if you're auto-attacking and he's auto-attacking, you should have about the... God, Ogre Magi has 6 armor. I don't think he should lose this matchup at all. 6 armor is ridiculous. This basically means that Pudge's right-clicks do no damage at all. This is seriously ridiculous armor. I'm really surprised that he kind of lost this lane. His animation is fantastic. I argue it's better than Pudge's. They do the same damage. Ogre Magi has a really, really good strength gain, actually. So he probably shouldn't have lost this lane, but he does end up losing it. This is one of the biggest problems with our game, is that our Ogre Magi ended up losing mid really bad, and he didn't get nearly as many last hits, so that impacts things a lot. And now he's out of mana, so he can't even spam his Fire Blast to trade efficiently for HP regen and stuff. So he should have his bottle at least at a reasonable time. So there we go, he should have his bottle on the way. Okay, so there's the bottle. Alright, Elder Titan in the off lane. We don't really need to look at the top lane for now because everything was pretty standard there, but...
Haste.
Elder Titan in the off lane has been pressured a lot, actually, by his enemies. And in fact, there's 4 heroes down there right now. Undyne is going to swap to the top lane. I guess Angel decided to play support instead, and Undyne is going to go in the off lane. I don't remember exactly why they swapped these, but they did. I'm just doing some pulling and stacking in the meantime, and DK is getting some solo farm. I argue maybe we should try to take the tower as soon as we hit 3 with Venomancer. And Undyne makes things a little tough because he's kind of hard to dive, and he's also pretty scary in team fights, so that's something to worry about. If we take a look at the CS right now, Ogre Magi is at 5, Pudge is at 10. I think I'm spending too much time on the early game, basically, right now for this video. But basically, Elder Titan's being contested, which is good by them. Mid lane is a 1v1 matchup that the Ogre is not doing the best at. He's getting out last hit pretty significantly, and one of the heroes is actually rotating, whereas none of ours are. In fact, DK has pretty much just been jungling this whole time, with the exception of killing the Windrunner in one case. So... looks like we were preparing to go gank, I believe. We did a smoke gank pretty soon here.
Dire's top tower
My pulling continues. I just wanted to put a ward over here to spot to see where the Undyne was. And there we go. I actually do have boots money here, but DK asked to gank, so we're going to go gank now. So any early farming that we did was fine, whatever. We got Chen to level 4. It's going to force our lanes to be a little bit weaker in the meantime, but if you take a look at CS now, Pudge is way ahead of the Ogre Magi, and this should not be happening. He has 0 regen, he's got 500 HP, and Ogre Magi just picked up his bottle, and he should have pretty good regen. So we're setting up a kill here, basically on the mid lane. So we just have to wait until Pudge goes to low ground. He should be stunned, and we should be able to get a Gale off immediately. We're definitely in the lead, by the way, so if we want to, we'll just take quick checks quickly, or once in a while. And we do have the XP advantage here. Nice hook by Pudge, and we're going to have Ogre get in a really bad spot. I was able to land the Gale on both heroes, and we killed Pudge, so things are pretty good. And I think I'm trying to get the double here. Try to block off. I thought he was going to go this way, so I put a ward there. I should have blocked here, though. And with the Pudge buyback, we're now in a really bad spot. Windrunner already has boots. DK is going to die, and I don't actually have boots yet, so unfortunately for me, this is pretty unfortunate. I tried to ward block as well here, but it didn't work, so I ended up dying. I didn't lose any gold, though. I only lost like 6 gold here. But it does give a double to Pudge, which puts Pudge at level 7 and Ogre Magi at level 5, so this is a pretty big disadvantage in the mid lane here. I do think that Ogre should have won that matchup, though. I think that's a matchup advantage for Ogre, even if he does get hooked. I mean, if you get hooked, obviously it's really bad, but Alright, if we take a look at Elder Titan, the offlane, he's level 5, which is pretty good considering that's matching the anti-mage. This is about the same as the Undying as well, but most importantly, we want to look at the net worth. So if we take a pause really quick and see how everything's continuing, we have a Flying Skull, pretty cool. Skeleton King's in the highest net worth. Pudge is number 2 because he just got a double kill and he's been winning the mid lane. Anti-mage has free farm, and support Windrunner, who actually did start in the offlane, is actually doing really well. He's got 2 assists to his name, so he's actually doing pretty well. Our Elder Titan is next. There's our Ogre Magi, and then there's our 2 support heroes. So our 2 support heroes together have about 1,800, which is about the same as their 2 supports at, what, they have 1,600 there. So our supports are pretty much evening out here. Our mid lane is getting relatively crushed, and our off lane is kind of matching what the Windrunner was working with. So I guess in a way the only gold disadvantage that we're really facing right now is the mid lane with Ogre. In terms of hero levels as well, it's looking like they're pretty far ahead in terms of their hard carry or their mid hero. So that's the only really big disadvantages that we have right now. So that was a pretty big mistake, honestly. The dive that we didn't end up getting any kills for. It was pretty unfortunate that we did end up dying like that. He did get 2 crits out of that though. I guess he wouldn't have gotten a kill otherwise. I was kind of hoping that he waited for me to come, because if we could have killed that guy, we could have killed him. But we should be able to push this now, basically. I think the Ogre Magi was chasing Pudge here, bottling up a bit. And he does end up not getting the kill because of the suicide. That was really unfortunate, because if Ogre Magi would have gotten the kill, he would have hit like 6.5, maybe 7 even. It's like Elder Titan's going to die as well in the offlane. That does happen. But we're sitting 4-3, and the gold and EXP is drastically jumping to the Radiant side. So our biggest mistake was diving under the tower. After we killed the Pudge, we just should have backed off instead of going for the Windrunner maybe. Or when she juked this way and got to this position, we should have escaped this way, or we should have ran this way as well. That would have been a lot better and safer. We're going for a dive on the top lane. Good tombstone, and Pudge is going to TP, so now things get pretty shitty. It's really important to drop wards constantly in a tombstone though, so you get a lot of gold from it. Well, I don't remember how this went for the skeleton. It's pretty good actually. Okay, they did end up killing him. I'm trying to juke and survive from the Windrunner here. Didn't really find a very good place to hide though. And the creeps coming around aren't going to be able to block him in, so he's going to be able to get out. Wasn't the best fight for us, but we did get Skeleton King a kill on the Pudge, and he survived. He did burn his ulti for that one. It didn't seem that bad, honestly. Who else died? Chen and Venomancer. I guess that's not really worth it. We lost 2 there, and their mid hero got another kill. Ogre Magi is sticking around for this, but I don't really like this play. I think they should retreat. So, just a couple teamfight losses there. Things aren't quite going correctly. And at the moment, this looks like a winnable game, right? But things are going to quickly snowball, and that's kind of why things get not fun to watch. Things like this happen. The over-leveled Pudge starts getting ganks off. Chen is going to be able to not going to be able to do very much stuff here. And I'm still only level 5, so I have to be pretty careful. I do have Boots and Wand picked up at least, but it's not looking too good. The best thing you can do as a Venomancer at this point is usually just defend lanes. But the problem is that they're not really doing a push strat. They're doing a 4 protect 1 strat where the anti-mage basically just farms a crap load and everybody else goes and ganks people. So we probably should take towers though. I mean, we have a Chen, we have a Venomancer. Maybe we should have pushed to level 1 after we killed the Windrunner. It's kind of hard to say, but things aren't going very well for us. I'm continuing to pull here. I'm going to go check for runes and spawn an AA. We should speed this up a little bit more. It's not that much is happening. Alright, and now we're going to go push. If we can take a tower here, this would be really good for us. Our whole team is actually shifting over. So if we don't get this kill, it's going to be really crappy. For some reason I thought that was real, so I still galed it, but I wasn't paying attention to its HP. I just saw the opportunity. So unfortunately I take an Ice Blast, and this is going to stop our push again with a nice glyph. So that was a really, really well-timed Ice Blast that put us in a bad spot and gave him enough time to actually shift over in conjunction with the glyph. So we just shifted 5 heroes over to try to get a kill, and it didn't end up working or producing anything. Ogre Magi only has 20 last hits, by the way. Pudge is sitting, what, 10 above him, and his farm is much, much higher. Stomp for the Elder Titan's going to whiff, so that means we won't even be able to see an Earth Splitter. He actually gets blocked on the trees really heavily, and this is going to be him dying. So that was a pretty big mistake. So once again, can't take the tower. Maybe they should just came from the front. It's kind of hard to say, but if he would have been able to land his combo, we would have gotten the kill anyways. I actually had to run back because my HP was way too low to stay. So, and then we're going to end up losing the Ogre Magi again with some nice Pudge play. So
Dire's top
Basically, a couple small mistakes allows Pudge to snowball a slight amount, and he's able to get some kills. Looks like some diving is going on bottom, and that's going to be Skeleton King probably dying twice. Yeah, with that haste especially. He ends up living, so we lose Skeleton King there. I'm trying to push mid at least, and nothing's really happening. So basically, after those couple little ganks and team fights, things just kind of snowball out of control, and a game that we started off with the first split on the Windrunner is just kind of not going well. We needed a lot more control, I think, from the Ogre Magi, and unfortunately he ended up getting snowballed on by the Pudge, so things didn't look so good. I ended up getting killed in the mid lane as well, so. And from here, pretty much everything just continues to get kind of ridiculous on the scoreboard. We're all really behind. We basically lost every lane except for the safe lane. Mid lane we lost off lane. Our Elder Shine has no kills and no assists, and all he has is a boots, bottle, and a magic stick. So that's pretty much the end of this game. You guys saw the end score screen. You can imagine how things continue. They just keep getting kills and things end up sucking. So we are going to lose it big time. So that's game one. Did I write anything else? Overdives and Ogre mid is what I wrote. So Ogre got behind. I think his level is like way behind. Yeah, Ogre's sitting at level 7. He's the same level as me, and Pudge is up at 11. So our mid ended up not doing very well. Obviously, the suicide from the Pudge was a little unfortunate for him, but does he get hooked here? Oh, he doesn't actually. I was like, for sure, he's just going to die right here. So that's enough for that game. As you guys can see, it just continued getting worse. We got some kills here or there, but never able to fully come back from that one. So the Ogre Magi actually had lower farm than I did, and he was a mid-hero, so not a good sign. I actually got a lot of last hits this game, 126. I think that's mostly inflated from zombies. I had one team fight where I dropped like 8 plague wards on the ground, and there was a fight for like 30 seconds, so I had tons of plague wards just sniping zombies. It was like the best sound ever. The gold just kept coming. So we ended up losing. We got anti-mage essentially, and they grabbed a bunch of other joke items, and then we lost. So that's game one. It is a game not worth posting because it was okay for the first 2 to 3 minutes, but a couple small changes in ganks and team fights and resulted in them snowballing us, and then they kind of had better heroes slightly, and then they just completely destroyed us. So that sucked. All right, next game. Got a Panda game coming up. I was playing Brewmaster middle. I actually did really well this game, better than the Venomancer game. I think I did okay the Venomancer game. Biggest mistake I think I made there was that I should have bought boots before I ganked the mid lane with the smoke. If I had boots there, I might have been able to kill the Windrunner, and I might have been able to escape the Pudge with more likelihood. So, hello speed, let's boost forward here, and let's boost forward again. So, thus far, I hope that these kind of show and possibly teach you guys things. The most important lesson from the last game was overdiving, by far. And I've lost a couple games like that in the last week. The Staff Cup game that we ended up losing, I overdove once, and it prevented me from snowballing a bit more. So try not to get too greedy with your dives. You have to be pretty conscious. The buyback from the Pudge is obviously very smart and not something that I predicted, so that hurt things as well. So this game, I am playing a mid Brewmaster. We have a off-lane Bounty Hunter. We have a roaming / support Lina who started with boots. Don't really recommend this. And then we have a support Vengeful Spirit and a safe Riki. So our draft is fine. Ricky's Smoke Cloud can be useful against some of these heroes. Slark, for example, if he's silenced, we can burst him down under the Silence Cloud. That would be really useful. But I'm not really sure if it's entirely something to expect. I had to pause here because I think my Skype died or something. So I'm up mid. I'll just talk about this matchup really briefly since we're here. I ran him, so I was able to start with a Stout with 3 Ironwood Branches and a Tango. I wanted to pressure the Shadow Fiend to prevent him from getting last hits. I have way more base damage than him because he went a really greedy build. That's like a Mega Bottle Rush. 2 Ironwood Branches with a Tango, so I have an 18 damage advantage over him, so he shouldn't get any last hits in the early game. And in fact, this is what happens, I believe, for the first wave or so. He really doesn't get very much farm at all. Also, his harass on me is really not doing very much because, again, I have a Stout Shield, and now I have Drunken Brawler, so 10% of the time that he hits me, it's just going to miss anyways, so pretty nice. I can also get some crits off. We actually started things off with Lina kind of pressuring the bot lane because she had the DD, I believe, which is why some of their HP is missing. I watched this later. But the problem with this is that, first of all, the Treant Protector is not being contested at all. He's up here, he's last hitting, he's preventing Riki from getting a last hit. He has 1 deny here. That's 1 last hit that Riki maybe could have gotten. And one of our other support here is pulling, which is kind of okay. But really what Lina should be doing, rather than pressuring the support and this carry, or the semi-carry, is he should be in the top lane contesting the Treant's farm, or contesting his space. If the Treant is held away from the wave, and it doesn't look like Riki lane controlled at all, because there's 2 range creeps, which is a mistake. There should never be 2 range creeps. If the creep wave sat passively right here, and the Lina was here, she could come around the back and she could right-click the tree, and that would force him to actually leave the lane. And then he wouldn't get experience, and then he would be delayed a lot of EXP, and hopefully Bounty Hunter could counteract that. So by using the hero resources down here on Lina, she's not really giving a chance for a kill, because Bounty Hunter and Lina aren't that scary together. Yeah, you can land a stun, you can get some right clicks on a guy, but you're not going to kill anybody. The Lina would be much better off just contesting the Treant Protector's farm, assuming the Riki has good lane control, and then Riki can get hopefully fed, and hopefully we can turn this into a win. So that should be our battle plan. One guy can pull. It would be either Venge or Lina. Lina's probably better for pulling, because giving her, I guess, it's hard to say. Giving Venge level 6 is probably a bigger deal because of the team fight. I should reduce my scroll speed. Sorry about that, guys. But I'm up to 7-2 versus the 3 last hits Shadow Fiend. Really good start for me. He was able to get some last hits as the creeps went under tower. Sometimes, man, speech is not my thing. Lina's still in the jungle, still level 1. Enchantress is jungling, picks up level 2. And this is pretty much the point where Lina has accomplished pretty much nothing. She went to the bot lane, she sapped a little experience. That could have been maybe a level 3 for the Bounty Hunter at this point. And she's running around just kind of right-clicking enemy heroes, but this does virtually nothing. Maybe she's thinking about getting a kill mid. Actually, if she would have shifted in now, killing the courier would have been really, really swell. But I don't think she ended up doing that. She ends up running into the Enchantress instead, and Enchantress is like, oh, a hero exists? Oh, is she actually going to get the courier? Okay, she did legitimately get the courier.
Radiant's courier has been
That's pretty
killed.
cool. I guess that's what he was waiting for, and he's also going to pull a creep wave. It's good that he stunned this, because it's going to end up going back mid instead of chasing him, so that's a pretty good pickup. There's a double Wildkin Tornado for me mid, so I ended up running into the jungle to go hit the small camp, and luckily for me, the Treant Protector is running for his life. Lina ends up zoning him towards me anyways. I don't actually have boots here, but I'm the same speed, but I was barely able to catch him with my clap, and I get the first blood, so pretty good start for me. Downside of me leaving the lane is that Shadow Fiend's going to get some free waves, so, but with the double Wildkin Tornado, there was like no way I could stay in the lane anyways, and our Bounty Hunter was able to get a solo kill against the Slark, so that worked out pretty nicely. Really, really bad for Slark, by the way. If your offlane gets a solo kill on the enemy carry, that's so bad. Tornado goes away, I can go back to last hitting. Shadow Fiend's now level 4 though, so he does have some more lane presence. I have to be a bit careful here. I did kind of want to do some harass. This is maybe a mistake. He could have gotten at least one raise on me. It wouldn't have killed me because it would have only done like 125 damage or something like that, but or 120 damage or something. But let me think, 225 divided by 2, which is like 112, 111, something like that. It's like 112, 113, 112 and a half. I can't remember. My math sucks right now. So things actually going really good for us right now. Our difference in golden is massive because we got the courier and we've been getting first blood and a second kill. And our EXP is also good because we're getting EXP from kills. So things are starting off really nicely. And he got EXP from the Slark as well. He's going to go invis here. They're not going to have a kill because they don't have detection. Which is pretty silly considering a Bounty Hunter was picked. Lina has since accomplished, again, nothing. He's going to stack some camps, though, which is something good that he can do in the meantime. But he should still be contesting some EXP on the Treant. The Treant's already level 4. Riki's now level 5. It's not the best for us. In terms of last hits, Riki's doing okay. He's matching the Slark, at least. I remember this moment. This moment sucked. It was actually a smoke egg coming with the Enchantress, and I was going to grab the regen and go high ground. But unfortunately, the net here really set me up, and they were able to get the last hit right when I popped the regen. So I guess I maybe should have just used it as soon as I grabbed the regen because I was missing full mana. I was low on HP as well, and I would have survived if I did that instead, I guess. So slight mistake for me. Lina taking a while to nuke here. She should have just thrown the nuke. Luckily she did pick up the last hit. But it was kind of silly from our Lina. Also have Treant buying back. He killed the Riki, is what happened. They traded. This is one thing that's very important to point out. So this is kind of, let's see how this started. So they initiated on the Treant. He's not actually invis right here, it's just a bug. Another hit, and he's going to go invisible. We should have dropped a sentry under tower. This shouldn't have... What they ended up doing was actually killing all the trees with the Quelling Blade. Pretty smart by the Riki. And he's going to come in here and get the kill. So he does kill the Treant, but the problem is then the tower last hits him. So if our Venge would have dropped the sentry, they probably could have killed him without killing the 2 trees, and things would have gone better. He bought back because he wanted to get the EXP here. This is a huge wave, so he would be able to get at least a level out of this, and he decided that spending the 200 gold is worth it for a level, which I agree with, actually. Getting him to 6 is really good. We were able to kill the Enchantress under the tower. I got a crit, which is why he was unhappy about that one, but even without the mistakes of losing the Riki there. And who else did we lose?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh yeah, that's right. I died when I got the regen. Even with those 2 deaths, we're still pretty far ahead. So, can speed up once again. Riki is opting for treads, I believe. I don't really like the Basilius pickup, with the exception of that it helps you push. You don't really need the mana that much either, and he should definitely have a smoke screen. You either forgo a level of Blink Strike or you forgo a level of Backstab, but you do need to get smoke screen in the early game. It's super important because it's going to prevent your opponents from casting spells and things. Oh, this is Bounty Hunter being annoying once again. Looks like he's trying to get the courier here. I don't think he can kill this without phase boots. Yeah, you can't. Oh, you can actually slow it. Pretty close, but he wasn't able to get it. Riki does pick up treads next, which is great. He's kind of trading hits inefficiently though, but this is partially a problem of Riki not having the level advantage that he should have. If the Treant was contested more, he should have like 2 or 3 levels behind, and Riki should have a big level advantage. But diving like that and having to run all the way around just to get back into the lane is really setting him behind. So instead he just starts transitioning this into ganks, which is pretty unnecessary. Because honestly, I can solo kill this Shadow Fiend with my wand. I can just clap ulti and he will most likely die. So it's kind of unnecessary, but anyways, I'm going to phase boots forward here. We have a Bounty Hunter coming as well, and this should be good. Unfortunately, the Riki ends up blocking me and attacking twice, so it's going to delay my clap by a lot, but with track, we can close the distance and get the clap off and score the kill. But Riki honestly didn't need to be here for this. We could have killed this without him completely, and he could have been getting last hits in the meantime. Like, creeps are dying right now, and nobody's getting experience for them, or last hits. I mean, Venge will now, but I mean, honestly, this should be Riki getting last hits and just taking a last hit advantage. And now he's getting behind on the Slark because he keeps roaming. So this is part of the reason that we're getting behind now. And if we look at the graphs and things, we're still doing okay because we have been getting kills, but it should be going a lot better. Lina also shouldn't be coming mid and blasting the waves because it makes it harder for me last hit. And also this Staff of Wizardry purchase is ridiculously greedy. It's not something that you should ever buy in a support hero. You could be buying wards, by the way. If you take a look at our vision, it's horrible. Look at this. 0 wards. Nothing up. Venge has not purchased any. Lina has not purchased any. It's not acceptable at all. And the ward vision does make a big difference, especially with like Slark, for example. If he goes to a different lane and sets things up, it can be pretty scary. So, checking for Rune here. I think I did end up spotting him. So I tried to see if I could snake around, and then I see him on high ground, so I'm just going to go for the kill. It does burn my ulti. I ended up like miss-microing pretty hard there for a fraction of a second or so. But we get the kill. I think when I selected them, it didn't have the Earth Panda selected for some reason, which I could have swore that's a mistake. Like, usually, doesn't it do Earth Panda first? I haven't played Bounty or Panda in a while, but it's not always worth it to use your ulti to kill a support, but a solo kill is a solo kill, and it gives me a level and gives me some more gold. Riki's trying to cut the creeps a bit by just right-clicking them, but unfortunately, he doesn't really have any regens. This kind of costs him a lot. On the bright side, Treant Protector doesn't have a lot of nuke damage, but it's still a bit greedy here. And Venge takes some pretty big damage from the Treant. So if we take a look at the graphs again, we're still in a pretty good lead here. Definitely have control of the game. I have a lot of last hits. I'm actually matching the Shadow Fiend now, but Shadow Fiend is always able to come back basically with raises, so only so much I can do there. We have killed them a lot at least. And if we look at net worths, yeah, we're actually doing really well. I'm in the lead because I have a bunch of kills. I think I have 4 kills. And looks like we lost to Lina on the bot lane. He ended up getting solo killed by the Slark, which is really silly. This should not have happened. He doesn't even have his ulti yet, and he's trying to go for a really fast Force Staff to stay survivable, but he ended up feeding. And if you do end up going like all in as a support in the early game towards a Slark like this, and then you end up dying right before you get your item, basically your entire early game as a support is wasted. And even against a Slark, I don't think it's that worthwhile. Almost lose a hero bot, though, or top, sorry, that was a Riki. It's just not worth it to spend your first, like, pretty much every bit of the start of the game as a Lina, and you accomplish nothing. I mean, she's assisted in some kills and things, but that's pretty much it. She got the 1 kill on the SF. She needed to be there for that one, of course, but that was pretty much about it. And we're gonna have another team fight here. This one's not looking very good. Yeah, Riki's gonna die. He came ganking for this one. Let's back up just to watch how that's set up. Alright, so Lina's mid. She threw a nuke. Bounty Hunter's coming. I'm coming. I don't have my ulti, but I have a clap. And they kind of have a lot of heroes. And they also had sentry wards. I mean, we had sentries as well, but we didn't exactly set them up as often. I think the sentry ward was detected, though.
Is under attack.
So we're trying to set up a fight. They actually have 4 heroes here, and Ricky goes in. Guess what? He doesn't have Cloud, so he can't even stop their initiation anyways. We're going to be able to kill the Shadow Fiend at least. But we're going to lose Ricky, and we're going to almost lose the Bounty Hunter. So we trade our carry for their mid hero. Their mid hero, of course, we've ganked him a billion times. And a Ricky stupidly buys back. That cost him a lot of gold. That was what? Like 350 gold. He's going to have to walk back to lane. So buying back doesn't even like accelerate his farm. It just reduces his time farming by 30 seconds. And it's very unlikely that he's going to farm 300 gold in 30 seconds. Because his GPM right now, if we take a look at what this is, his GPM is like 300. So basically he's wasting 150 gold. He does get some EXP advantage for now, but it's really not worth it to buy back as a carry. And even dying twice now is a pretty big mistake. So his net worth is now decreasing. He's not even close to Slark anymore. And I'm still at the top. But that's only so much we can do. Just kind of want to do a clap on these guys. I do have ulti here. Did bait out their heals and things like that. So basically what should have happened in the early game, rather than the supports and the Lina running around and just kind of messing up and not doing very much, the Lina and the Venge and the Bounty should have just taken a fast tower top after they contested the EXP of the tree. They could have kept Tree out of EXP range, kept him level 1 for a while, give Ricky like level 3, level 4, something like that, and then Ricky can solo against the tree really, really easily, because 1 level of living armor is not going to be enough to keep him alive against the Ricky. With blink strikes and backstab damage, he would have been able to mess him up pretty hard. So once Ricky has a level advantage, they can do a single pull. They could go smoke gank on the mid lane. They could do whatever, but eventually take the tower, give us a gold advantage, and then from there Ricky can continue farming until he gets a core item up. And most importantly, as a core item for Ricky, you can either gank with things like Orb of Venom, or you can buy a freaking Diffusal Blade and you can win the game. And usually a Diffusal Blade honestly wins you the game as a Ricky, because you go around the map and you get tons and tons of solo kills. Heroes that are very likely to die. Enchantress is actually pretty survivable because she's ended up grabbing Untouchable here. But Treant is killable, Rubik is very easily killable, all if he had Smokescreen. And he just got it now, which is so stupid. He basically has no farm here. Treads and a Band of Elven Skin, like, it's very, very little. So this hurt us a lot. I think the Ricky made a lot of mistakes, and our support heroes were not playing very well either, and those were the biggest losses on our team. So things are going to end pretty soon here in terms of like when our game end is. Again, we're going to kill the Shadow Fiend, which is pretty easy, with the Bounty as well as myself. So it gives me, that was my 4th kill. Oh, I'm sorry, I got assist there, not a kill. But getting track gold, obviously very good. And I wanted to go for a really fast Aghanims this game. I maybe should have gone Drum first, it's kind of hard to say. Lina ends up solo dying again to the Slark, and again still doesn't have his Force Staff. So the hero that previously did get solo killed is now able to snowball a little bit. Another pretty big mistake by our support heroes. And from here, let's follow somebody else. Just kind of running around mid. Slark ends up getting top tower. Ricky doesn't get the kill on him. I believe pretty soon here we do have a team fight. Slark kills Lina a 3rd time, and at this point it's pretty much... Slark is effectively snowballed. Our support has effectively wasted her whole entire early game. And we're chasing Slark here, trying to get the kill. Watch this at like half speed. So I end up clapping and I end up ulting because I want to kill the Treant Protector. The problem is we started changing targets a bit. I went on the Treant, whereas they went on the Slark. We actually didn't even have sentries down at the time, though Venge did have one. Treant goes invisible, and the main issue is that their whole team is there and our whole team is not there. So we lose the Venge very, very easily. If you look at the rest of our team, our Lina just respawns now, and our Ricky's nowhere to be found. Not too surprising that he wasn't at that fight, but their whole team was, and they had sentries down, and they had detection, and that pretty much just limited us. And level 1 Panda ulti really doesn't do that much damage. With a clap, you can usually smush a squishy hero, but Treant is very leveled. He's at level 8 already. He's got 1,000 HP, and he's got 4 levels of living armor. He was able to hide, and you know it's very hard to get a kill. So basically, we're gonna lose this fight completely. I don't know if we lost yet. It looks like we are gonna lose the Bounty. Bounty goes down. I'm going to run for my life, but unfortunately their whole team is alive, and I'm going to get netted and reserved. So at this point we pretty much lost. Let's look at some graph stuff really quick. We had a pretty good advantage from getting the courier kills and getting a couple first bloods. We had a couple ganks go. We shut down the Shadow Fiend decently. He's actually got pretty good farm still because Shadow Fiend is a monster at farming, but after a couple team fights, we got completely behind. We lost Lena twice to Slark. Slark got a tower as well. We never got a tower ourselves. And from here, they just snowball, and we're just going to lose the game pretty much. I think somebody ended up abandoning this game at some point, so it's not really a full game. But from here, we're not going to come back. And I can tell you this with mostly certainty, because we had a good early game, but our carry does not have any items for the 15-minute mark. You can get these items by like 8 or something like that. He's died twice. He's got barely any farm. It's not good. The net worth, he's sitting behind their Enchantress jungle and their mid-hero. I'm the highest farm on my team, and I'm up by 1,000, so... there are some mistakes that my supports made that gave Ricky maybe a bad environment for snowballing, but he made too many mistakes. He spent way too much time ganking before he had any good items. If you're going to gank early, at least get an Orb of Venom, at least, because it does increase your chase potential by a lot. So this put us pretty far behind, and after that one bad team fight where we thought we would maybe get a kill, didn't happen though. They had too much EXP and HP, and maybe we shouldn't have gone in. It's hard to say, but well, obviously we shouldn't have. They had their whole team there because we did chase Slark for a while, so that's maybe the thing we shouldn't have done. We chased Slark from here all the way around, so we should have anticipated their whole team reacting to this, which meant there was a very high likelihood of there being 5 heroes. And honestly, killing Slark is going to be pretty tough anyways. He's got his ulti. Yeah, we can track him and all, but he's likely to just leap away, so we probably shouldn't have engaged that fight. But regardless of that, I think we still would have lost the team fight if we did do a 5v5. Ricky has no farm. Lena has no items at all. She could basically try to blow up one guy, which is going to maybe kill one of their tanky heroes. All of their heroes very tanky, except for like Enchantress and Rubik. So I think we were very likely going to lose this game at this point because Shadow Fiend had pretty darn good farm. And in fact, he was just a little bit behind me. Enchantress got a Midas, and their Sark was about to get a Orchid. And once he gets an Orchid, he can solo kill me very easily. Maybe not solo kill me because I have pretty high HP and I have evasion, but the game was basically just over at this point, and that's why it's not worth watching. So that's a game where we lose. It's always like really, a lot of these games are very, very small snowball things that can change drastically. Obviously, there's going to be times where people just completely throw their lanes, but in this case, at least, it wasn't like that. It was kind of, it was a very close game. Our hard carry needed to farm better. He shouldn't have bought back. That was really stupid. And he shouldn't have ganked as much. He just should have sat top and grabbed some CS. Arlena should have just sat in the top lane and contested the XP of the offlaner. But a lot of support heroes never do this. They just think that like leaving the lane and letting the offlaner get a lot of EXP is good, and it's definitely not. Always take at least one support and try to contest the offlane for EXP. If you only have one support in the lane because you have a jungler, take the sacrifice. Support hero, contest the offlaner, give your hard carry a good early start, and then from there you can go ganking, for example. So I need to close this. I have a little pop-up here. A Dota pop-up. Okay, there we go. So that's game 2. I feel like we're going pretty long in time already, so I'm a little hesitant to show you guys the third game. But I guess we'll try to skip through it pretty fast, because I feel like this is slightly boring and maybe a little long. So I guess I don't have to show you guys the score. I didn't think about that. Doesn't matter. Let's show it. This game is actually really good. If you guys want to watch it, I'm not gonna make a replay commentary of it because it's a support line, and I just posted a support line video about a week ago. But if you guys are looking for a full game and you're not too upset that you already know the outcome, it's actually a really good game to watch. It was really close for all, and there's a lot of really good team fight. Excuse me. There are a lot of really good team fights that you might actually want to watch. So let's take a look at it really quick. Have a couple notes about this. It was actually very close for quite a while. We team fought pretty darn well, I think. But eventually there were some problems. All right, too far. This is about a minute in, so we can just back up and take a look at lanes really quick. All right, so game pretty much starts. We got an Invoker mid versus a Troll Warlord. On the top lane, we got a Jakiro and a Lion support babysitting a Sniper. This is against a Nature's Prophet offlane. And our offlane is a Windrunner versus a Axe Jungle, a Spirit Breaker, and a support Dazzle, who's extremely late to lane. So, all right, let's resume this. Play. Oops, play. Why can't I click? Is it not free camera? Quit lying to me. Okay. So, we should be able to contest the Nature's Prophet very easily. We just started playstyle a little bit here, and I told the Jakiro to go harass the offlane. Again, we don't want to let him get any experience. If you are playing an offlane Prophet, this is not what you do with your Treants. You don't want to just right-click them on them and support. What you want to do is block camps with him, or try to disrupt pulling. But he didn't do that at all. He just right-clicked them on the Jakiro. Jakiro was able to pull them under tower, and we were able to get some free EXP. So, in the meantime, I'm going to pull the camps together, because I do want to deny that experience. He was not able to get over here in time. And I also nuked down the neutrals here to prevent this. So instead he says, okay, I'm going to summon Treants, I'm going to jungle with him. Again, he's not playing the Nature's Prophet offlane correctly, but we pulled the creeps over, so we should be able to deny these. On the bright side, actually, just having these Treants up has prevented more of our creeps from dying. So that was one nice thing they did. He stopped this piercing damage from hitting our creeps for a while. So it definitely reduced our damage output. But at this point, it should be able to kill at least 1 or 2 more creeps. Look how much damage it does to the creeps. It's pretty beastly here. Should have had an ice path there from the Jakiro. So that's going to reduce the damage we do to this Nature's Prophet by about 200. I don't think we would have killed him there, but we definitely would have done a ton of harass and maybe even forced him to go back to base, because he did only have 1 set of Tango here. So that hurts things a bit. Our Invoker almost died on the mid lane, but he salved up last second. Really close there. But in terms of last hits, we're doing just fine. Our offlane Windrunner is getting a decent amount of EXP. He's level 2. It's better than Nature's Prophet. So for the early game, at least, we're definitely in that. A slight lead, very slight lead. And we do have a gold advantage from the pulling and other things, so pretty good. Gonna start the pulling again. Unfortunately, this camp is not blocked, so this is gonna turn this into a push for us. And in fact, what we're doing, since we know this is pushing, and also something to point out that I said while I was playing live, a regular camp is not gonna kill just one camp is not gonna kill an entire pull wave. So if you do a single pull, just leave it. You're gonna lose the EXP of the creeps dying, but you don't need to be around to tidy the wave. A Centaur camps and Alpha Wolf camps do the most damage, I believe. As you can see, the Centaur camp is almost killing multiple of these creeps, but we haven't lost that much by just leaving this. Luckily for us, I think if we resume this and go really slow and change the vision, they don't have any wards on the top lane, and this is generally to be expected. Most people don't ward for the off lane, they'll ward for the safe lane farmer. In fact, I don't even think they bought observer wards this game, because I don't see any on the map for their vision. But it's pretty safe as a support to go this way and try to swing around behind the tower. It's not letting me draw because we're not doing this live, but we basically decided to swing around the tower. We had illusion runes as well, so I'm going to send these through first, most likely. So I'm going to run behind them, because that way these will be the first ones to be targeted by the tower or by the opponent. And now we just have to wait for the wave to push, which was obviously being communicated to the sniper. So sniper is going to push out the lane a bit, and then we'll be able to tank the tower and most likely go for a kill on the Nature's Prophet, because he thinks he's going to be safe on EXP. So we just have to wait till this is about to reach tower range, and as soon as our creeps get into tower range, we can start entering tower range ourselves. So here we come. Can start right-clicking the Prophet, throw 1 stun, there's a 2nd stun. And now we just make sure that the sniper gets the kill, and he gets killed. So we set up the first blood for our hard carry. We're able to pull creeps around. We can hopefully, if things go okay, take this tower immediately. It's going to be a little tough because we don't have a catapult. The catapult's right here, actually. So maybe we can take the tower. Who knows? Prophet's considering TPing in, and he does end up TPing in. I'm just trying to contest his ranged attack. The reason for this being, the longer it takes for him to pull the creeps back, the more damage we have on the tower, basically. So I'm going to nuke the creeps because I want to try to continue to push this, but he does kind of get here in time, and just having the treants around also helps us from pushing under the tower, so that was pretty okay. So we should have a pretty good advantage here. EXP actually jumping up a bit, seems they're out farming us. It's most likely the Axe, who's just been taking solo farm this whole time. Thinking about setting up a stun. We do have actually pretty good follow-up with 2 levels of Ice Path, although we had the troll coming in just with the haste, so we have to try to set this one, or shut this one down, sorry. We should have, oh, I'm sorry, he already used Ice Path, but the Jakiro should have saved the Ice Path until I landed my reliable disable. If we would have had that, if we could have stunned for 1.5 seconds and then stunned again for 1.4 seconds, there's a pretty okay chance that we could have killed the troll. It's important I didn't waste Hex on him, because a hexed hasted unit is still running max movement speed, so it would have been a complete waste. And I'm able to pick up boots here. Axe is able to kill the Windrunner, so things are going okay. But basically the game is very equal still. We're doing pretty good in the offlane. We've killed the Prophet once, so gonna try pushing this again.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So we're going to be able to take the tower. Sniper gets the last hit. I really wanted to kill the Prophet, so I'm going to throw a Hex. And the first big mistake that I made this game is right here. And it's that I basically walked under tower range, and I ate like 4 tower hits and a creep wave. And this is absolutely, by far, the biggest mistake I made. Jakiro ended up not going north, and instead the Jakiro went east, and they caught the Troll Warlord. So we basically just completely overdived and lost our advantage from the early game. So that was pretty stupid. Prophet's looking like he's TPing, and they also have a Spirit Breaker. And at this point, we realized that they had a Spirit Breaker. This means a 100% dead sniper. So Pretty unfortunate for us, but I did overdive. It all started from my air. I went under tower, and I really wanted to kill the Nature's Prophet because I felt like he was so weak. We got a Sunstrike on the Prophet though, so that was okay. And that's a hero that we haven't looked at all. It's actually Invoker on the mid lane. He's actually last sitting okay. He's sitting at 25 here, just slightly behind what our sniper is working with. He's actually prioritizing Counter Helix over Battle Hunger, which I find a little weird, but... but our Invoker actually did have a pretty okay early game, I think. He did alright in the early game. I think he did fine. The Meteor pickup's a little greedy, maybe. Especially, don't get a Void Stone this early, it's not worth it. It doesn't give you... It's only giving him, like, 2 mana regen per second. Oh, that's right, he's going for Eul Scepter. I guess that's okay, then. But I think you should maybe at least get a Wand, possibly, or a Magic Stick for some burst, whatever. Alright, let's look at the net worths. This is important to see how the game's going. Their jungle Axe has been doing really well, actually, partially most likely because he is maxing out Counter Helix first. This means that his farm rate is going to be increased from this. He's farming equally as fast as our Invoker is. Their Prophet's having kind of a rough game, but I believe he just finished his Midas. He got his Midas recipe, at least. And it looks like they're coming for a game top, actually. Don't remember how we react to this one. Oh yeah, I saw a troll, so I stunned him. Should always hex the Spirit Breaker. This is not something I did very regularly in this game, but... So, we already lost the Sniper. Mistakes that were made. I obviously stunned an Illusion, which I assumed was real. I was able to hex the Spirit Breaker, but not before his charge was initiated. It's pretty important to try to stop the first charge from hitting, if possible, but unfortunately the charge AoE is pretty big, so if anybody's within this range of him, you're going to get stunned, and then you're going to be stopped. But Hex should be used largely for just Spirit Breaker, and the reason for that is that a lot of the times in this game I tried to Earth Spike him, but it's a delayed stun, and by that point he had already activated his ulti, and if he activates his ulti, then he becomes magic immune, and the Earth Spike completely whiffs. Hex is never going to miss. It's either going to not cast, or it's gonna land. So I should be just hexing Spirit Breaker at the start of every fight, and maybe having a lane ward could have put us in a safer spot, especially because we are going to be anticipating Spirit Breaker this game. If we take a look at our wards again, I believe we have none of them. Yeah, we have 0 wards on the map right now, which is partially my fault, of course. I just picked up boots here. And I think we did just put them on the Jakiro, but in ideal circumstances, we would have had those up right at the 6-minute mark. In the meantime, Invoker's gotten a solo kill on the Axe, which is really good for us, because Axe is one of their most farmed heroes, and in fact, he is their most farmed hero. So, at the very least, right now, Invoker, I have no complaints. He's getting CS, he's getting kills while we're being dived, and a lot of our deaths are just kind of as a result of them having better heroes than us. Spirit Breaker is very good against Sniper, because Sniper is squishy, and he's easily dived. I threw my nukes that I had to try to stop things, but unfortunately it didn't work out, so... Gonna spot some other heroes over here. So we're pretty much gonna continuously anticipate ganks on the Sniper from here on out. I believe we saw, yeah, just now spotted this. Yeah, we ended up finding the Troll Warlord over here. So we got the easiest kill ever on the top lane. EXP is not at all in our favor. It's because they have jungle heroes and Nature's Prophet, for example. So he's getting some EXP advantage over us with the Hand of Midas. X continues to counter push. And here comes another charge on Sniper. So again, a lane ward would have been really nice. He would have seen this coming slightly earlier. He just now spots it. And unfortunately, we're all out of position. I'm going to hit the creep, but at this point I realize that he's getting charged. I was scared that the Prophet would run forward, which is why I threw the stun there. I didn't aim it on the Spirit Breaker, I aimed it for the Prophet, because I knew the Spirit Breaker was stunned. So I did whiff a stun, but it was for, it's because the Prophet decided not to dive. So another dive on the Sniper. Luckily he ended up surviving. It was very close though. Him dying there would have been really unfortunate, but we need to get wards up, and we still have no wards up, I believe. Yeah, still 0 wards. You can't sit this long with no wards up. I think we put one somewhere. It looks like he got dewarded almost immediately. Pretty unfortunate. Oh, he might actually get this kill. He's very close, actually. Pretty close to a kill. When Invoker still isn't ganked for us, for example, which is a little unfortunate. But that's kind of the symptoms of a max exhort invoker, is that the idea is that he's looking for solo kills. He wants to get his Yules as fast as possible, because once he gets his Yules, then he can start solo killing repeatedly. So I think I had to go back to base to heal. And I'm going to try to set the kill bottom or something.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I was really sad that he just did a Sunstrike on the axe. I was really sad that he threw that there. If he would have waited, I maybe would have been able to do a stun, and then he could have Sunstriked on the axe. It's too bad. Jakiro continues to cover the sniper. We put a lane ward down finally. So this will spot out. I guess people can't TP anymore because the tower's dead. But now we got to dive on the invoker. This is a 4-man gank as well, so I stunned 3 heroes, but it's not gonna do shit. So pretty good damage from the meteor, but they're just kind of out-ganking us at this point, and it puts a really big strain on things.
Dire's structures off. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Windrunner able to pick the kill. We should be able to get Dazzle as well, maybe.
Dire's middle tower
I
has
think he
been
maybe
denied.
could have gotten that kill. End up running away
Dire's
here.
bottom tower has fallen.
I was hoping the Dazzle would chase and be able to snake a kill. But unfortunately nothing.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Alright, so let's speed this game up a bit. This period of nothing really cool happening. Invoker's trying to finish his Yules. There's another dive going on top, but we ended up killing him. Oh, that's yeah, whatever. I don't need to show every little cool fight. If you guys want to see the cool fights, you can watch the replay. We're not here for that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I want to see why we lost these games. So basically, we're kind of at a point where we're doing pretty well. I think this is Sniper stayed too long here. Axe was coming, and Spirit Breaker just respawned, so he's very likely to show up. The dual breath should have hit the Axe, but I don't think he would have died anyways. He's got a Vanguard. So maybe he would have. He's doing a lot of damage. It's really hard to keep your sniper from not dying, honestly, against the Spirit Breaker. Lose Invoker here. So the start of the problem at the beginning is that we're not able to keep our heroes alive. We're trading about evenly on kills and deaths and stuff. I think I Finger of Death somebody. I don't remember who I killed. I killed Nature's Prophet before. But we're not keeping our core heroes alive. Our Invoker is making some mistakes. He shouldn't have chased the Axe for this long. That was silly. And we keep losing our Sniper as well. He still doesn't have his Yules picked up. If you look at our net worth now, our Axes surpass the Invoker, as has the Nature's Prophet by a large margin. Despite Prophet continuously dying here. Oh, he thought about charging, but then he cancelled. That's weird. The Radiant team did a really good job with warding this game, though, and very wise to do so because of the Prophet as well as the Spirit Breaker. Allows them to set up ganks and things and see where we're moving. I really like this ward. This is a really smart ward. We even sentryed on the high ground here, but it's not there. It was later in the game I saw one of these wards, possibly this one, die, and when I saw that it died, I was like, oh, this is where they're warding, and he's going to continue warding there. Like, for example, we're finally putting some wards up, but they're already anticipating our counter warding. This is really smart for them. I think this is the Dazzle actually spending pretty much all of his money on Observer wards and Sentry wards, and it prevents us from getting any map control. Maybe we should have just bought a gem really early. I think, in fact, when we should have realized how much they were warding, but I didn't really. I mean, look how much money they're spending on wards. Like, they dropped a Sentry here. They dropped a Sentry here. They dropped a Sentry here. This one finally paid off eventually. They eventually saw this Observer ward and killed it, but they're spending way more on counter wards and Observer wards than I was. So I finally put a Sentry down to try to spot out their obs. Troll ends up killing Jakiro mid. That was a charge bash. Losing a support's not as bad, though. Looks like we did kill Spirit Breaker, so Invoker does get something out of it. But their map control was really good this game. It's hard to know in a pub game if they have good map control or not until you start just buying a gem. So maybe I should just buy gems more often in games. It's hard to say. Maybe like after I grabbed treads here, I should have gone for it. We're able to kill a Dazzle here, but we're going to lose the Sniper, and unfortunately the rest of our team is not really in the right spot, so it was too bad. The setup for that, we were sitting mid, and our other two heroes were sitting over here. So again, really good Observer ward, solid Observer ward, Sentry ward as well, just for good map control. They can basically see everything around Roshan, and they can take this and know when to retreat. So
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
they're kind of just being annoying and playing around Dota right now, which means they're just split pushing and things like that. If we take a look at the graphs really quick to see how things are going, it's a big Radiant advantage and EXP and gold, so we're definitely behind at this point, and this is kind of how the game starts ending. Basically, they're out farming us. They have a lot more farming heroes than we do. Our support heroes are at the bottom. Our offlane did vaguely okay. Their Dazzle has a very, very little net worth, but that's because he's literally only buying observers and sentries. He's going with an absolute minimalist build with max Shallow Grave and max Shadow Wave with a magic stick. Like, this is so minimalist, and it really did help their team a lot because of the Spirit Breaker. So it was pretty smart for him to do this. He actually doesn't have Sunstrike ready. His blast was okay. If he actually Sunstrike that, he would have gotten the kill, but he didn't have it queued properly. So he's not the most experienced guy, I think, at doing this combo. Invoker also starts to peek off, but we basically have one hero that's well farmed on the sniper, and then we have Invoker who's kind of okay, but he really starts peeking off, and then we just get out farmed by the other heroes. Axe is farming well. He's just split pushing constantly. Nature's Prophet is farming really well, and even Troll and Spiritbreaker can farm easy. Spiritbreaker is mostly just focusing on ganks. This is a really bad fight for us. I guess it wasn't really bad. There was another fight over there that was really bad. But not the best fight. We ended up losing Invoker, which sucked. Right, we grabbed the Dazzle, so we basically got 2 kills there. And I think I end up dying. We're also going to be able to kill Troll twice, I believe. So. Alright, so I ended up dying, but we got a lot of kills. This is like one of the examples of things going well for us. So if we look at adjustments based on this, it's basically just going to be really small dips. It's not going to be that much. And kind of the same theme is going to stay there. We only have one guy that's farming. The rest of us aren't stomping enough to really win the game. So I decided to buy an urn. I probably should have just gotten a gem instead. If I got a gem and we dewarded this all and kept it alive, it would have been really nice. So, alright, and that's pretty much the end of this fight, or this game. I don't think I really need to watch the rest of it. The game ended up being close for quite a while, but the same principles kind of applied. Basically that they were out farming us like crazy, and we weren't able to catch up. Again, the Dazzle continued buying observers and sentries and keeping map control up really hard with their Spear Breaker and their Prophet combo, and we weren't able to come back from it. So if you want to watch the game, though, it's a really close game and really fun to watch, I think. If I hadn't just done a line support video like a week ago, I definitely would have made a replay cast of it. I was actually contemplating whether or not I wanted to even show this replay to you guys, but these are a couple games that we've lost that aren't really worth posting, especially the first 2. This one was closer and worth posting because I did okay on my roll, but it's very small things that can oftentimes lose you Dota games. Like, if we didn't overdive and I didn't die to the Prophet here and we didn't lose the Jakiro as well, maybe we just would have snowballed because we just got a tower for example. And maybe we would have been strong enough to actually fight Spearbreaker when he ended up diving, which has been working some of the times, but not all the time. So it's always very small things that swing the difference of whether or not you win a Dota game or you get completely stomped from it. So I think that's about it for the video. So I hope you guys liked it. I feel like it was mediocre. Leave comments below to let me know how you feel about it. I could do more of these. I can just look at like little things. I know it's kind of a weird format because it like completely comes down to my judgment about what I feel like is worth watching at a time. But I have to watch these beforehand to figure out why we lost the games and then take notes so that I can get straight to the point rather than having to like figure it out live, which would focus on me having like, when I'm figuring out why we lost a game, I have to watch all the lanes, see if this guy did his job right, see if this guy did his job right within reason and things like that. So like, for example, Invoker has 60 last hits and it's 21 minutes in. That's not okay. Things like that is puts us really far behind. I don't know what Invoker was doing, but he was not getting farm. So Invoker got behind. He didn't have enough impact in the mid game, and we're getting out farmed as a whole. So it makes our fights harder and harder and harder and harder, and eventually you just get wiped in a team fight and things go bad, which happens eventually in this game. But it's not worth showing because I would have to find it and it would take like an extra 3 minutes, which is way worse than me babbling. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Go follow me on Facebook or Twitter. I'll try to bring you guys some more variety soon. I have a couple more ideas. I think 2 more video ideas. Maybe bring back one old series and then that I never really got motivated about, which I'm going to try. And another one which I haven't done before that I thought of. So more videos coming soon. Thanks for everybody for watching. I'll try to stream soon. Not sure if it'll be today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. I'm feeling kind of tired now. It's 7 p.m. even though I've only been awake for like 5 hours, but whatever. Okay, goodbye.